This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome. You are here on lockdown coverage with your man Louie T, breaking down Week 3 in the National Football League. Cleveland Browns at the Miami Dolphins. Before we get to the breakdown, though, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. Your man Louie T is here covering the entire National Football League like a blanket. Help me do that by joining me on this program. So, also, give me that thumbs up on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, at In the Lab Room on Twitter, In the Lab Room on Facebook. Go ahead, like the page, and also follow me on Twitter. And again, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Louie Tee Network. Let's go ahead and break down this football game. Dolphins came dangerously close to dropping to 0-3 on the season. And if you lose to the Browns at home and you go 0-3, your season is done. Finito. Finished. So they came ever so close to having their season be done before it even really got started. Let's talk about how they were able to avert disaster and keep their season on life support out in Miami. Likes, dislikes, and tailpipes is how I like to do these breakdowns in case you aren't aware. And what I do is simply tell you the things I liked, things I disliked in the game, and any banana in the tailpipe, something I'm not falling for that may have happened in this game moving forward. So I like to start with the likes of the road team, and so we'll start with the Browns in this game and what I liked in the first half. The first possession interception by Jamar Taylor. This was a guy that was drafted by the Dolphins, and so it probably felt good to him to go back to Miami and make a play by the team that basically told him you weren't good enough to get it done here. So he had to feel good making that play. First possession of the game to get that interception, put the Browns in a position to score. Got to feel good. And that's a great start for a young team like the Browns on the road to get some points early, to get a turnover, to give them a little bit of confidence as a big play. Terrell Pryor package. I really like the Terrell Pryor package. Now, I will warn head coach. Head coach Hugh Jackson about the overusage of this package. Don't overdo it, okay? Sometimes less is more. But I like this package. I like the different dimension that it brings to the game. Him using his legs. The ability to then throw it. Remember, he was a prolific thrower at Ohio State. Not saying that he's the best thrower of the football, but he can throw it. Don't overdo it, though. Okay, don't overdo it. I thought they used it way too much in this game. And I guess when you got a rookie quarterback in Cody Kessler that you didn't have any intentions of playing this season, maybe you do need to mix it up a little bit more than you would, say, if it was Robert Griffin III, which you could do these things with him. You wouldn't need to put another quarterback in there, but just don't overdo it. But I thought this package, not only did it help the Browns offensively throw the Dolphins off a little bit, but also it got Terrell Pryor going in this game because not only did he do some things from the receiver position, he also caught the football well in this game. So that's something else that you can hang your hat on if you're a Browns fan saying, wow, look at what we did with Terrell Pryor. And I really liked Terrell Pryor. Thought he played well in this football game. The Brody Calhoun pick six to give the Browns a lead in this ball game, huge at 7-10. Again, you're on the road, you're the Browns, you struggle to win games. Here's another confidence builder here, getting another interception, this time taking it yourself. Couldn't get 7 off of the interception the first time around, so the Browns defense decided, I think we need to put this in ourselves. And that's exactly what they did, getting the pick six from Brody Calhoun to get into the end zone and give them the lead temporarily. Let's go to the Dolphins in their first half likes. Cameron Wake with a forced fumble. On the first possession, I want to say, or the second possession of the game, early in the ball game, I want to say the Dolphins turned it over, and then the Browns got it. The Dolphins were able to force the turnover and get it right back, essentially, and Wake was the one that hit Cody Kessler and draw the ball free and able to give them an opportunity to get the football back. Huge play by Cameron Wake. Almost had another one later on in the game. We'll talk about that when we get there, though. Wasn't able to get that one. Had some technical difficulties on his end to stop them from getting that fumble and scoop and score. Devontae Parker. Good to see him continuing to make some plays. Made his debut last week, and I thought he did some good things last week in the loss. Was able to come back this week and continue to build confidence, getting the first touchdown of the game for the Dolphins on a nice post route. Great throw by Tannehill, and he was able to get in the end zone. So a big play for Devontae Parker. I want to continue to see him mature and grow in this offense because we know what you're getting from Juice week after week after week. You know he's a consistent playmaker for you. You need someone on the other side, and that guy needs to be Devontae Parker. Kenny still brings a nice element, but Devontae Parker is a game changer. They need him to perform. Good to see him catching that touchdown. Let's get to the first half dislikes for both teams. Delay a game penalty on the first possession of the game. So you get the interception by Jamar Taylor, and boom, just like that, you're thinking, okay, we got a little something going here. And the first snap is delay a game. How does that happen? Don't ask me. I don't know. But then right after that, you get a fumble on second down, and then third down, you get a hit that jars the football loose from Cameron Wake. And just like that, I mean, the Browns, to me, having a delay a game penalty on the first snap is so indicative of what this Browns team is right now. And I'll talk more about having a penalty to start out a half a little bit later on, but that whole first possession is a microcosm of what the Browns are right now. You force a turnover. You feel good about that. First play, delay a game. Second play, second down, fumble. Third down, fumble. I mean, how are you supposed to win when that's what you do when you force a turnover? Cody Parkey missing from 41 yards out. This is a guy that you had to scoop up. Had some problems with your kicker throughout the week. So you had to call up Cody Parkey to come in and kick for you. And there's a reason why he was on the streets. And you found that out in this game, missed from 41 yards. Again, Browns can't afford to miss field goals. They need every single point they can get, and he wasn't able to deliver for them here. And so that's a dislike, definitely. And there's more to come from Cody Parkey in this football game. Trust me when I say that. Let's go to the Dolphins' first half dislikes. Interception thrown by Ryan Tannehill on the first possession of the game. Can't happen. And this is what kills me with Ryan Tannehill. The inconsistencies of Ryan Tannehill drives me insane. And I'm not even a Dolphins fan, but it drives me nuts. He'll make a play like this where you scratch your head and say, what the hell are you looking at? What are you doing? Why did you force that football? That receiver was not open. He wasn't going to win. Why did you throw that football? That's the stuff that really irks my nerves and really gnaws at me when I look at Ryan Tannehill, because you know the guy has talent. You know he can play at a high level. You've seen him do it before. But it's these kinds of decisions, these types of throws where you say, bruh, you can't do that. No, it's not okay. You can't do that. Dropped interception by Xavier Howard. Look, Dolphins are 0-2. You need a win. You need to make some plays. They give you an opportunity. You got a rookie quarterback. You want to take some confidence from him? Pick the football off. And that wasn't even Cody Kessler who threw that ball. It was Terrell Pryor. And that speaks to what I said earlier. Don't overdo it. If you're Hugh Jackson, don't overdo it with Terrell Pryor, because he's going to make mistakes. There's a reason why he's not an NFL quarterback. He makes mistakes. Don't overdo it. And Xavier Howard had a chance to make them pay for them overdoing it with Terrell Pryor. And he dropped the football. Catch the football, young fella. Get your first pick of your career, man. Would have felt nice. Get that pick, man. Change the field. Flip field position. Make a play. Tannehill's second interception. This one was worse than the first one, because this is the knock on Ryan Tannehill right now. This is what everyone that's a Dolphins fan complains about. This is what opposing teams know about him. This is the book. The book is out on Ryan Tannehill. You put pressure on him. He gets under duress. He will do stupid things with the football. It's been proven. There's a track record. There's a history. You put pressure on Ryan Tannehill, he will panic. Hot potato, I don't want the football anymore. Here, you take it. Whether you got on the same color jersey as me, you take it. I don't want it. And that was what this interception looked like. Uh-oh, pressure coming. I don't want the football no more. Here, somebody take it. He just threw it up for grabs. No man land. Pick. And it happened to be a pick six this time. That can't happen. And that's the inconsistency I'm talking about with Ryan Tannehill. That kills me. It absolutely drives me up a wall with Ryan Tannehill. Offensive line pass protection is also on my dislikes list for the first half. I thought they were horrible in that first half. Tannehill was under duress constantly. He was getting hit. That pick six was caused by pressure. Now, again, he shouldn't be making irrational decisions just because you're under duress. If you don't have anything and you can't get rid of it, eat it. Fall down on the ground, take a sack. You much rather punt than throw an interception that ends up going to the crib and turning into 7 points for the opposition. There's no excuse for throwing a pick six just because you're under pressure. Either you're going to get rid of it, find your check down, get out of the pocket and escape with your legs, or you're going to get down on the ground, but you're not going to throw it to the other team. But the offensive line, to me, was getting pushed back all day. The pocket was collapsing. Guys were getting beat. This offensive line was not stellar, and I thought that this offensive line was supposed to be much better this year. I haven't seen them gel yet. I think they've got enough guys up front to be better than what I saw in this game. I thought the Browns, a team that doesn't generally get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, got a ton of pressure, especially in that first half, on Ryan Tannehill. Let's get to the second half likes, and we go back to the Browns. The opening drive of the second half was nice. 11 plays, ate up half of the quarter almost. You felt good about it, except when it came time to actually put some points on the board. You would have loved to have gotten a touchdown, but okay, can't get in the end zone. Send your kicker out there to knock the field goal home, except Cody Parkey missed again. And so that's frustrating. When you put together the type of drive the Browns put together coming out of the halftime break, and to not get anything, to not have anything to show for it, that's tough. That's tough. 2-point conversion and the comeback to tie the game up. They were down 11 in the second half, and this team could have quit. And normally a team in the position of the Browns that's not very good, they do quit. And maybe later on in the season, they will quit down 11 in the second half. But right now, the season is still long. They still have hope. They came back and tied this game. Got a 2-point conversion after a touchdown to cut it to 3. They end up getting a field goal late to tie this game up and had a chance to win it. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But give the Browns some credit for some resiliency on the road, down 11, staring adversity in the face. They came back and made it a ball game and had a chance to win at the very end. Corey Lemonier's forced fumble and recovery. This should have been the ball game here. That forced fumble and recovery should have given the Browns the opportunity to win, which it did afford them that opportunity. Now, taking advantage of that opportunity and actually having them win the game, two separate situations, but he did his job forcing the fumble, and this is what I'm talking about with the offensive line. Tannehill, to me, internal clock has to go off. You have to know that there may be some pressure coming, and more importantly, you got to hold on to that football. You can't fumble in that situation. Not with the game on the line. You got to hold on to the goddamn football. Again, Ryan Tannehill killing me with senseless mistakes. Even though his tackle was beaten like a drum on that play, you can't fumble there. Got to be stronger with the football in the pocket. With the game on the line, you cannot fumble. The Dolphins easily could have lost this game, probably should have lost this game after that play. Great play by Corey Lemonier to force the fumble and recover it and give the Browns an opportunity to win this football game at the very end. Dolphins second half likes. Tannehill's touchdown toss to Juice. That was a hell of a throw, and this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about inconsistencies of Ryan Tannehill, this is what I'm talking about. The interception in the first half, the second interception in the first half, and then you make this kind of throw. You kind of scrambling and shuffling to his left, throws a BB, an absolute dart. There are two Browns defenders right there, and he zings it past both of them to Juice in stride. He then catches the football, makes a couple of moves, gets into the end zone. That's a thing of beauty. And that's why watching Ryan Tannehill struggle frustrates me, because I know he can play better. Plays like that is proof that this guy can be a dynamic playmaker at the quarterback position, but he continues to make the mistakes. If he can eliminate those and make more plays like this, he's a guy that you can win with in this league, but the mistakes are maddening. That is for certain. Opened up an 11-point lead in the second half. That's on my likes list. Look, after the Damian Williams touchdown, you were up 11. Put them away. Put the Browns away at home. Don't allow them to claw back into this game and almost steal it from you. You're up 11 in the fourth quarter. Put them away. Surviving and winning. Look, I can sit here and fuss at you for giving up an 11-point lead, for almost losing this ball game, but you didn't. You survived and you found a way to win. It was not pretty. It was not pretty, but it was gritty. And as I always say, it was a W. And all, A-L-L, all W's are pretty. This was ugly by the Dolphins in the second half, but they got the win. And wins are always pretty. No matter how they come, they're always pretty. And so surviving and winning was the most important part. To fall down to 0-3 at home to the Browns to start the season, season's done, is what it is. So to get this win, it doesn't matter how it comes, just get it. And that's what the Dolphins were able to do. Let's get to the dislikes for the second half. We go back to the Browns. Start the second half with a false start penalty. You started the first half with a delay of game penalty. That's my problem with the Browns right there. Is just these are small things. You can't fix the bigger problems and the bigger issues until you clean up the small and the little things, the minute details. That's what wins you football games. Concentrating and not having the little mistakes will allow you to improve upon the big picture. But when you can't get the little things right, when you're a bad football team, when you're trying to find a way to win, when you're trying to learn how to win, when you get the little things wrong, attention to detail, when you can't line up and get a playoff the first snap offensively of the game, when you come out in the second half and the first thing you do is get a false start penalty, that's a problem. That's a problem. Missed 42-yard field goal and 46-yard field goal by Cody Parkey in this game. The 46, the latter of the two, being the potential game winner. Tough break for the Browns. Look, at the end of the day, I didn't like the way they handled the late game execution. They're taking knees like this guy has been drilling them all game long. This is a guy that's been struggling, has already missed 2 kicks. You're kneeling down like you're at the 8-yard line and this is about to be a chip shot field goal. If you don't run the goddamn football and try to pick up yards, I know you might be afraid you might fumble the football or something catastrophic might happen, but you got to get more yards. This guy hasn't proven to you that he's drilling it from 46 yards, and so they deserve to miss that field goal. They deserve, because you shouldn't be taking knees in that situation. You had a timeout. Run the football. How do you know you're not going to get an 8-yard gain and set yourself up for a 30-some-odd yard field goal instead of a 46-yard field goal? That's not a chip shot field goal. You shouldn't be taking a knee there. The next dislike is the poor punt and not taking the ball first in overtime. So the Browns win the toss and they elect to kick. That proves you have zero confidence in your offense. Maybe it proves you have confidence in your defense. Either way, you win the toss. Why the hell? It'd be one thing if it was a windy day and you wanted to control the wind. I get it. I've seen teams defer in overtime because the wind, you wanted to have more. It was more important to have control of the wind than it was to have the football first. I've seen that. This wasn't one of those type of days. What are you deferring in overtime for? And declining and allowing the other team to have the first crack at the football. Now, it didn't backfire on them because they got to stop. They got the football, but then your punter shanks one essentially. Colquitt shanks one, and not only does he shank it, he kicks it right in the middle of the field to Jarvis Landry, who gets a nice 10, 12-yard return, sets the Dolphins up in some great field position. Then you get a great throw from Tannehill to Juice to set them up 1st and 10 from about the 12, 11-yard line. And next thing you know, Jay Ajayi is in the end zone, and this game is over. And so the Browns found a way to botch this in overtime. They should have won in regulation, but when you're the Cleveland Browns, these are the type of things that happen to you, unfortunately. You should have won. You didn't. You win the toss. You decline to get the football first. And then all of that stuff goes well for you, and you still wind up punting, and then your punter doesn't deliver at the most crucial and critical time of the game. Your special teams killed you in this game. 3 missed field goals from Cody Parkey and a bad punt in overtime pretty much sealed your fate in this ball game. Let's get to the Dolphins and their second half dislikes. Cameron Wake and the defensive tackle being offsides. Cameron Wake forces a fumble, and probably the reason he forces the fumble on the sack is because he was slightly offsides. Then the next play, you give up another offsides penalty on one of your defensive tackles. The Browns were going to have to settle for a field goal, okay? They weren't going to pick that first down up. It was 3rd and 7. They were struggling on third downs in the red zone. You were going to force them to kick a field goal. Instead, you give up 5 on the Cameron Wake for offsides. The next snap is offsides on your defensive tackle, and just like that, you just given up a first down on 3rd and 7 inside the 20. They were going to have to settle for a field goal. Instead, you allowed them to get in the end zone and then give up a 2-point conversion, and that allowed them to get back in the game. The next dislike is blowing that lead in the fourth quarter. You can't blow an 11-point lead to the Cleveland Browns at home when you need a win. You're up 11, 24-13. Don't blow that lead. Not to the Browns. It almost cost you in this ball game. And of course, my last dislike, the Tannehill fumble. You cannot fumble in that situation. No, you can't turn it over, period. You went from potentially putting your field goal kicker on the field to win the game to putting the Browns field goal kicker on the field to win the game. And I'm going to let you know right now, if Phil Dawson is healthy, you lose this football game. Okay? Oh, Phil Dawson isn't their kicker anymore. I don't know who that kicker is, but I'm assuming that whomever that kicker was better than Cody Parkey. Cody Parkey stinks. And you saw that in this game. Regardless of what, you can't fumble that football. Period. I don't give a damn who's hitting you, who you didn't know was coming. You got to hold on to damn football. The game's on the line. You can't fumble there. Boy, the Dolphins got away with one. I'm going to tell you that right now. The Dolphins got away with one. But a win's a win's a win in the National Football League. And that's what the Dolphins were able to do. 30-24 in overtime, getting their first win of the season. Browns fall to 0-3, and that's rough, man. That's rough. You had this game at the end, and Cody Parkey says, nah, y'all not winning this game. It's tough. Let's get to some of your comments, man. Oh, man, let's get to some of your comments. Savage Raven says, good morning, Big Lou. I think the Browns ran out of steam in overtime. They did. They shouldn't have even been in overtime. And good morning to you, Savage Raven. Good morning to you as well. They shouldn't have been there. They should not have been in overtime. They should have won in regulation. And I think you know how it goes, man. When you got momentum going into overtime and you blow it, you know, when you got momentum and you should have won the game and you blow it, that takes all the steam out of your football team. All the momentum that you had is gone. And I looked at Joe Thomas at that toss, in that overtime coin toss, and he looked dejected, man. He looked like a guy that was defeated, man. And so you feel for them because you know they should have won this game. Brown Shoe T2 says, Cody Parkey was the Dolphins MVP. Yeah, he basically was. 3 missed field goals, including the game winner. I'd say that makes him eligible for the MVP of this game. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is a wrap for this breakdown. Tough break for the Browns. You know, they're getting close. But they still find it elusive to get that W. Dolphins, meanwhile, they get on the board. And the first is the most important one. Just getting that first win is important. Let's see if they can build some confidence now and parlay this one win into 2, maybe into 3, and start getting something going in Miami. It's going to do it for your man Louie T on Lockdown Coverage. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I'll be right back, man. I got Bengals. I got Broncos. I got that next. I'll see you in a little while. Come back and join your man Louie T. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you shortly. Have a good one.